In the center of Feian village, the martial arts field. The morning light was bright and the breeze was blowing. The children looked serious and were meticulously practicing marching boxing. Compared with the past, the marching boxing displayed by these village children has a more condensed flavor, with great openness and great momentum. Lin Xun, who was standing by to supervise these children, couldn't help but nodded secretly when he saw this. In the past, the march fist practiced by these little guys was also scattered, and many power-generating skills were ignored. If they continued to practice, they would definitely go astray. Now it's different. After Lin Xunyi's guidance and correction, these children have begun to master the essence and mystery of marching boxing. Lin Xun also speculated maliciously that Lien Rufing and the other guards probably didn't teach these children martial arts at all. Otherwise, with their eyesight, how could they not see the mistakes? On the other side of the martial arts field, there are 4 other children who are meditating cross-legged, among them Ying Liu, the son of Ying Hao's family. These 4 children are all 7 or 8 years old, and their aptitude is higher than other children. Now they have sensed the sense of qi and can introduce qi into the body. Just by slowly tempering, they can step into the ranks of true cultivators. For them, Lin Xun didn't want to hide his secrets, and taught them the 8-Bei-Oyunata that he had learned one by one, and took out some snow-spotted leopard and one-horned lizard's flesh and blood to help them temper their bodies and replenish their spiritual power. This is also considered for the future development of Feian village. Lin Xun knew clearly that if even Rufing and the others were to be eradicated one day, Feian village would lose all its guards. In addition, it is impossible for Lin Xun to stay in Feian village all the time. Under such circumstances, someone urgently needed to replace Lien Rufing and the others to protect the safety of the entire village. The 4 Ying Liu were the seedlings selected by Lin Xun. Before leaving, Lin Xun will pass on some of the cultivation experience he has mastered to them as much as possible. As for the future, they will rely on them to work hard. When supervising the children's martial arts practice, Lin Xun was not idle. He held a blue-green wooden knife in his palm, and he did not use his spiritual power. He only used the strength of his muscles to sharpen the mystery of the 6-character sword technique. Swish! A small willow leaf fell, and when the blade flashed, the willow leaf was chopped off. This was originally very common, and almost any other cultivator could do it, but if you look closely, you can see that the split willow leaves are also very particular. Because this knife was cut along a curved vein on the willow leaf, not straight. In other words, Lin Xun's knife was not only as fast as lightning, but also slashed along a vein on the willow leaf with great precision. The willow leaves are delicate, the blade is like lightning, and only the strength of the wrist joint can be used to achieve this step. If it is seen by some people with superb cultivation, I am afraid they will appreciate it. This is into the micro. Martial arts are also divided into realms, which are divided into 4 levels: first glimpse, introduction, accurate and complete. Like marching boxing, if you have just started to practice, you can unfold its moves one by one, even at the first glimpse level. The so-called practice makes perfect, and being able to begin to comprehend the essence of the moves can be called the subtle level. On this basis, the essence of the move can be brought into play, which can be called accuracy. As for consummation, it means to fully understand all the mysteries of marching boxing, and to exert all its power. Arriving at this realm, every move is like flowing clouds and flowing water, and the antelope hangs its horns. These are the 4 major realms that all common fighting techniques possess. Now Lin Xun has tempered a March Fister to the level of accuracy, and he is only 1 step away from reaching perfection. This is also normal. After all, this boxing is a basic boxing method, and the requirements for practitioners are not high, but it is not so easy to achieve a perfect level of a simple boxing method. This requires an understanding. After all, cultivators in the world have different personalities, different spiritual powers, and different styles of marching boxing. If you want to achieve perfection, you must find a style that belongs to you. However, Most cultivators in this world will not waste time on a basic practice. The reason why a basic practice is a basic practice is because its power is limited, and it is not worth thinking about. It's just that for Lin Xun, marching boxing is the only boxing technique he has mastered, and there is no other choice. In his opinion, even if it is a basic boxing technique, as long as it can reach the perfect level, the power it exerts is beyond imagination. To draw an analogy, advanced exercises are like an iron sword, and basic exercises are like a wooden sword, and the wooden sword is definitely not as powerful as the iron sword. But the key is in whose hands it is used. In the hands of a master, a wooden sword can kill people. In the hands of ordinary people, an iron sword is useless no matter how sharp it is. For marching boxing to reach the level of completion, what is needed is a sense of understanding, and there is no rush to rush. Now Lin Xun's more thoughts are on the training of the A-6 character sword technique U'. This saber technique is indeed unique and beyond imagination, but it is also more difficult than usual when cultivating. For example, Lin Xun can only achieve fineness, which is far from being accurate, let alone complete. This is still learned from the battle with the red-blooded bats. Otherwise, it is impossible for Lin Xun to achieve the 6-character sword art to the point of subtle. It was also this incident that made Lin Xun realize that no matter how much he practiced swordsmanship, it was still the same as building a car behind closed doors. Looking for a chance, I must go to the old forest in the deep mountains. If I can meet some fierce beasts to hone my swordsmanship, it will be even better. An idea appeared in Lin Xun's mind. In actual combat, not only can you temper your martial arts, but you can also exercise one's perseverance, courage and experience. A cultivator who does not understand combat is destined to be unable to go further in cultivation. After 7 days of hard work, all the spirit valleys planted in Feian village have been harvested. Although it is less than in previous years, the villagers are already satisfied. They all know that after experiencing the plague of insects, they can still harvest so many spiritual valleys, which is definitely fortunate. Because of Lin Xun's great achievements in eliminating pests, every household in the village distributed a lot of the harvested spirit grains to Lin Xun, which added up to nearly 100 catties. As usual, these harvested spirit valleys are used as goods and escorted to the Kinyan tribe thousands of miles away to exchange for living materials. But this time, no one planned to do so. The reason is now that the villagers all understand. Although they are a little worried about whether Lin Xun can do it, this is the decision of the village chief Xiao Tanran, and they have no objection. The peaceful days continued, and before you knew it, nearly a month had passed since the time when Lu Ting and the others were killed. In addition to teaching the children in the village to practice martial arts, Lin Xun devoted all his time to cultivation. After this period of training, Lin Xun's cultivation at the true martial arts triple open house level has become incomparably strong, and his combat power is twice as strong as before. At this time, let him touch Qianqi again, and he can easily kill him with one knife. The practice of A-Xiaoming divine art has also achieved remarkable results, making Lin Xun's spirit more condensed and powerful. Just one step away, he can light up a star in the sea of knowledge. But even so, the power of the spirit has brought great benefits to Lin Xun. At least he only rests for 3 hours a day, and he will not feel any discomfort or fatigue, which has virtually saved Lin Xun a lot of time. And the strength of his soul made it much easier for him to hone and comprehend the 6-character saber art. This change made Lin Xun quite happy, and he became more aware of the unusualness of Xiuming's magic. In addition to tempering his cultivation and honing his martial arts, Lin Xun did not abandon the cultivation of the spiritual pattern. He would definitely set aside a certain amount of time every day to practice the speed, pen power and skills of seal carving. The only regret is that after the dark gray seal pen disappeared together with the ancient scroll, Lin Xun still lacks a handy seal pen. Otherwise, with some of the spiritual materials he has collected now, he can smell some spiritual ink and seal out some real spiritual patterns. Not being able to truly seal the spirit pattern means that he cannot truly perceive the level of his current spirit pattern engraving, and he also does not know how far away he is from the spirit pattern master. However, Lin Xun was in no hurry. The cultivation of the way of spirit runes is not a one-off effort. It relies on accumulated practice, understanding and progress. There is absolutely no shortcut at all. Of course, whether it's cultivation, martial arts, spiritual patterns, or soul cultivation, all of them are progressing in a positive way, which makes Lin Xun very satisfied. It's just that as time goes by, the villagers in Feiyun village are not as relaxed as Lin Xun. They all know that as time passes by day, it is getting closer and closer to the return date of Lian Rufeng and his party appears in Feiyun village. This made the mood of the villagers also become tense and depressed. Although it was not gloomy, it was not as relaxed as before. For this, Lin Xun is powerless to change anything. What should come will always come, and it is the top priority to think about how to deal with this matter. This morning, after Lin Xun took a shower, he carried a big bone bow and a bag of arrows on his back, and slung a broken sword around his waist. He left home and went straight to the outside of the village. In the past month or so, the flesh and blood of the snow-spotted leopard and the one-horned scale lizard had already been eaten up, and it was simply impossible to satisfy their hunger with only the supplement of lingu. Therefore, whether it is to fill his stomach or to meet the needs of his future practice, Lin Xun has decided to go for a walk in that deep mountain and old forest. This time, Lin Xun went on the road alone, without taking Zuzong and other hunters. This was also done for safety reasons. The last time they entered the old forest in the deep mountains, if they hadn't been looking for opportunities, they would have encountered the lava giant wolf they had never met before, and the consequences would have been unimaginable. It's just that Lin Xun didn't know that the lava giant wolf he regarded as a terrifying threat had already been killed by a mysterious little girl.